Desire of Ages, chapter 42. Tradition. The scribes and Pharisees, expecting to see Jesus at the Passover, had laid a trap for him, but knowing their purpose, he absented himself. Then came together unto him the Pharisees, and certain of the scribes. As he did not go to them, they came to him. The mission of the 12 rekindled the jealousy of Jerusalem's leaders, who sent another delegation to monitor his movements and search for grounds for accusation. As before, the complaint centered on his disregard for traditional precepts. While supposedly designed to protect God's law, these man-made rules had become more sacred to the leaders than the law itself. Among the observances most strenuously enforced was that of ceremonial purification. A neglect of the forms to be observed before eating was accounted a heinous sin. The rules were numberless, and the life of those who tried to observe them was one long struggle against ceremonial defilement, an endless round of washings and purifications. Christ and his disciples did not observe these washings, and the spies made this the ground of accusation. They said, "Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread." When truth is powerfully proclaimed, Satan uses his agents to incite disputes over minor issues, attempting to divert attention from the real matter at hand. The question of greatest importance is, do I believe on the Son of God? Is my life in harmony with his law? And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments. 1 John 2:3. Jesus made no defense, but revealed the spirit of his accusers. Full well ye reject the commandment of God, he said, that ye may keep your own tradition. By using the Corban tradition to dedicate property to the temple, they bypassed the fifth commandment, using a pretense of devotion to dishonor and defraud their parents. Christ had given the law concerning offerings and never lessened man's obligation to God. Yet the zeal of the priests was a pretense to cover self-aggrandizement. The people were deceived, bearing burdens which God had not imposed. Even the disciples were not wholly free from this bondage. By revealing the true spirit of the rabbis, Jesus sought to free those who desired to serve God. "Ye hypocrites," he said, "well did Esaias prophesy of you, saying, This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, but their heart is far from me. They worship in vain, teaching human commandments as doctrine and placing their requirements above God's precepts." To the multitude, and more fully to his disciples, Jesus taught that defilement comes not from without, but from within. It is the evil thought, the evil word, the transgression of God's law that defiles a man. The disciples, seeing the anger of the Pharisees, said, "Knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended?" He answered, "Every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up." Traditions not of divine origin cannot endure the testing of God. God shall bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Ecclesiastes 12:14. The substitution of human precepts for God's commandments has not ceased. Even among Christians are found customs resting on human authority that have supplanted divine appointment. Men cling to traditions and cherish opposition to those who show them their error. As in the days of Christ, so now those who call attention to the commandments of God meet the same enmity. The dragon was wroth and went to make war with the remnant, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Revelation 12:17. But every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. In place of the authority of men, God bids us accept his word. Here alone is truth unmixed with error. I have more understanding than all my teachers, for thy testimonies are my meditation. I understand more than the ancients, because I keep thy precepts. Let all take heed to the warning of Christ. In vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. This chapter is based on Matthew 15:1-20, Mark 7:1-23,